Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is and whatever part of the world you may be in. This is Dr. Don with another daily light point. I'm sitting in my rental vehicle. You may notice if you've been following all week, I was in a different vehicle throughout the week. It was a white vehicle. You can kind of see the blue outline on the vehicle here. The interior is, I think, a different color as well. You may ask, well, why is he in a different rental? Well, many of you have heard or discovered that Microsoft experienced a major global outage that impacted many institutions, including airlines. And unfortunately, I was supposed to fly back home this afternoon, and my flight was canceled. And with that cancellation, it was moved to tomorrow, which now impacts my follow-up flight with my family out of the country to visit family and support the island of Grenada following the hurricane that they experienced. So it's both a family trip and sort of missionary trip in some sorts, in that we're going to support family impacted by the hurricane. Nonetheless, ripple effect of impact on travel plans and what have you. The idea here is not woe is Dr. Vaughn. The idea here leads me to my final light point for this week: leading with serenity. Leading with serenity. You may replace serenity with other terms. Maybe it's composure or level-headedness, but I'm going to use serenity. Now, if you follow me through our light points, you know my interest in as a guiding principle for me and this concept around serenity and my serenity prayer. But so I want to use kind of pillars to that: acceptance, courage, wisdom. And you can replace wisdom with synonyms, but acceptance, courage, wisdom. How do we lead with serenity in the midst of adversity, in the midst of trial, tribulation, challenges that we encounter every day? Because I reflected on myself, and I said, "Wow, Dante, I'm talking to myself now, and you're pretty composed through this. You're pretty serene about it all, relatively, you know." And then as I was on the phone trying to speak with travel agents with the airline and coordinate this and rebook this, I'd already returned my other rental. I need a new rental because now I'm all delayed and blah, 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 blah. And I realized how blessed I am to be able to move with the level of composure and serenity in this time. Yes, it's impacting my travel. Yes, it's impacting my family travel tomorrow and delays, and it costs more money now and all those other things. But my serenity comes with first accepting. Look, the reality is there's a global outage. I couldn't do nothing about it. I accept that there are many flight cancellations throughout the globe. I accept that what can I do but look for my alternatives, and I accept that sometimes, call it the universe, I call it God, will shift us, right, in the manner that we should be shifted. So I accept that. And because of that acceptance, it keeps me at ease, right? I don't have to beat myself up. I don't have to be frustrated or angry with anyone else. You just accept it for what it is. I can't change it. Now, there are things I can take control of, because the idea is just because you accept doesn't mean it doesn't send you down this accountability ladder of oh, woe is me. So how do I stay up the ladder even after I've accepted it? All these things are happening. It's going to impact these things. I could allow it, even after accepting, to bring me down emotionally, psychologically. So how do I stay up? Now it requires me to apply some courage. A courage in making the calls I need to make. The courage in planning or replanning. The courage in acknowledging that this will have certain levels of impact, and the courage to move forward despite the adversity, the courage to have the conversations with the people I need to challenge the circumstances, to challenge myself, to work through it. Courage. Wisdom. You got to be tactical in how you're moving, even in the midst of adversity. Taking a breath and pausing and thinking through the scenarios. Okay, well, what's the right move? Should I fly into here? Should I change my plans from this state to this state? Should I move in this way accordingly? How do I make the best of the situation? How do I shift my circumstances? How do I leverage what seemed to be a failure point and see the opportunity through it? It takes some wisdom in understanding how to think more critically and strategically about my circumstances and what's going on. I'm saying my device is overheating. I hope it doesn't cut out on me. So I leave you with this. Leading with serenity, or some synonym around serenity, requires us to pause, take a breath, understand that we can't change certain things. We have to accept it for what it is. Once we've accepted it, we apply a level of courage to take the necessary steps, even when we feel defeated, even when we feel we're in an adverse state. And then applying some knowledge and distinction in what we can control and what we can't. And for the things we can control, we take appropriate action.